And now, the national anthem of Myanmar.
Good evening to you on Channel 5. We're live from the Gelora Bung Karno Stadium in Indonesia, Jakarta. This, of course, is the AFF Suzuki Cup 2008, a critical matchup in the Group A stages between Singapore in red and Myanmar. And you're catching the action live right here on Channel 5. Well, this is a very wet condition for a very critical game. Two teams knowing full well that they have to exert themselves. A quick look at the Singapore lineup. There's no sign of Alexander Duric for today. So in comes Noor Alam Shah. Duric, of course, is rested with a calf injury and he's on the bench tonight. And all eyes, of course, will be on the defense partnership of Bayaki Kaizan alongside with Pressures. The Myanmar side, of course, victory is absolutely vital for them tonight, especially coming off after the defeat against Malaysia. Of course, number 9 man Yang Pen will be shouldering the responsibility to get the goals for Myanmar tonight. Well, I'm Bernard Lim. With me this evening is Mark Richmond.
Yeah, thanks very much, Bernard. And you certainly hit the nail on the head just by saying that Myanmar need a victory tonight. The magnitude of the match is at its highest level, especially for the Myanmaris. They didn't know what hit them against the Indonesians, and it's win or out situation for them, do or die mission. For the Young Lions, it's as simple as this: win and they qualify for the semi-finals. Let's just forget for a short while about who we're going to meet in the semi-finals, but put a step inside there and settle first or second place with Indonesia in the final match, because the statistics don't lie. They state that every time Singapore has qualified for the final 4 of the ASEAN Football Championships, they have gone on to win the tournament. So as long as they get into the semi-finals, it is there, and it is theirs for the taking. But this Myanmar side would want to spring a surprise tonight for Radi Abramovich and his charges, only because they are a wounded animal, and the Myanmaris can play some football. The last time these two sides met, Bernard, it was way back in 2004. It was at the National Stadium. I was there. It was like the pitch conditions were something like this. It was raining, and it ended up with S. Supramani getting hit by a water bottle.
Absolutely passionate football side there. Myanmar, of course, coached by Marcos Antonio Falopa, the Brazilian coach. And this is a man calling all the important decisions tonight as well on the pitch. Pong Din Dong from Vietnam. And he'll be assisted by Pricha Kangrum from Thailand and Asman Ismail from Malaysia. Singapore playing in their all-red outfit against Myanmar. Referee making a final check before starting proceedings for this absolutely vital matchup here in the AFF Suzuki Cup.
Well, it's almost the same sort of lineup that Abramovich has decided to put out against Cambodia, with Mohammad Ridwan taking the place instead of Sharil Ishak. But up front, Alexander Duric will be missing. Not a bad replacement to have, though, in Noor Alam Shah. He, of course, last tournament's top scorer, top player as well. And let's not forget, too, that all of Singapore's strikers in this tournament, all 4 of them, Agu, Alam Shah, Indra, and Alexander Duric, have scored more than 100 goals in the S.League. So they do have the firepower, but it's whether Precious and Bayaki can hold up against a very fast and quick Myanmarese forward line instead of the ones that they face against Cambodia.
This will certainly be a big test for the Singapore team, especially when they're tuning up for the big match against Indonesia 2 days from now. But that will be a big match right here, the home ground for the co-host nation. And that will be a very, very important game as well. This is John Wilkinson looking for Agu Kashmir now. Certainly getting some used to on this very wet, slippery condition.
Yeah, it probably will favor Singapore in the sense that the Myanmaris were running circles against the Indonesians in the last game, whereas Singapore had an easier time. So fitness-wise, it might favor Singapore with their taller players up front.
A beautiful cross there. This is Noor Alam Shah. Yes, we're talking about how a dangerous player he is. The smallest chances he will definitely convert. That's Noor Alam Shah catching everybody by surprise with a quick opening goal for Singapore.
Oh, but usually when a commentator says that the team is best with its aerial duties, they would let you down. That time, though, Singapore did the otherwise, and it was Noor Alam Shah who scored the final goal in the last game, who scored the first in this. And how about this for some poor marking? Look at Alam Shah. He's just doing nothing. Nothing there, just one run forward, and he got free from his marker. That is criminal in the penalty box. You can't do that. If you're going to follow your marker, you got to be either in front of him or side by side sticking with him. You can't give him 2 or 3 inches in front of you, and someone with the predatory instincts of Noor Alam Shah will kill you, and he did that.
Certainly a big boost for the Lions now with the early goal from Noor Alam Shah. His second for this competition. Because there's a substitute the last game, scoring a quick goal as well, and this time Noor Alam Shah has certainly made a mark in this game.
That's poor defending there from Singapore. You can't expect your midfielders not to help him out. Shuti in that case asking for a foul. If the referee's not going to give it, everyone's got to stay alert. But this man has got it all to do right now. He says he's got a surprise for Lionel Lewis and guys, but the Brazilian coach would not have fathomed his team starting off with a 1-goal deficit as early as the first minute of play.
Lionel Lewis sends the ball right in the middle of the field there. Mustafik Farudin. Nice switches play, trying to pick out Ridwan Mohammed there. Good play from Maulin for Myanmar. Daniel Bennett doing his defensive duties there. Wilkinson now. Agu, he's onside. A poor control from Agu Kashmir.
Nonetheless, Bernard, it's been a feature of Agu Kashmir's play in this tournament so far. He loves to make those diagonal runs, draw the defenders out, and give the midfielders an outlet for a ball up front. Great running, great movement up front by Agu Kashmir yet again.
By Haki. So the keeper's ball for Ong Ong O.
You'd expect with the downpour the pitch to be a little heavy. It's not too heavy at the moment, but it is very, very slippery, and that's the reason why a lot of players are trying to find their footing.
Oh, it's a poor clearance from Noor Rahman there. An early opportunity there for Myanmar. Myo Min Tun certainly taking the opportunity and have a whack at goal.
And he should as well. That was horrible by Noor Rahman. Certainly one of the most reliable defenders for Singapore in the past year or so. That's the last thing you should do. If you want to play the ball out, play the ball right out. Do not play it back in play again, especially with your midfielders in the form of Mohammad Ridwan. He's usually right up there. And when he comes back to help out in defense, it's usually when the other team's on the attack. That time when he's on the offense, he's every reason to go up front and wait for the punt. If you're not sure of it, put it out of play. Do not put it back in play. It's a dangerous situation to have.
This is Noor Alam Shah now with Shit Jai. Well, lost possession there. Sends it out wide right now for Myanmar. Slowly settling themselves at this moment. Agu fails to find Noor Alam Shah on that occasion. Ridwan Mohammed now. Singapore will be looking at his crosses for this match. Nobody's there. Clearance from Zor. Lim Tun.
It's unlucky. It was actually a very good cross by Mohammad Ridwan. It's just behind the defenders. It's very, very hellish to defend a cross like that. Two strikers, Agu and Noor Alam Shah, in a line together instead of one of them just making a run forward to try to optimistically pick that cross up. Just not enough belief in the strikers at that point in time. But good work by Mohammad Ridwan.
Mintun intercepted there by Bayaki. Brown again, a good challenge by the hot man in the Singapore midfield department. That's Mustafa Farudin getting a yellow card in this early stage.
The last thing we want, Bernard, Mustafa Farudin to be receiving a yellow card after, 6 minutes of play. Noor Alam Shah's trying to appeal, but the referee's already got his name inside the book. No doubt it was a foul. No doubt he came in and clattered very hard on him. But in this pitch condition, sometimes you have to give a little leeway. And the referee was too stringent at that time, I feel. It was a foul. It was a free kick, but it surely wasn't a yellow card. However, it goes down in the book. And Mustafa now has got to be careful with his challenges.
Well, Agu caught offside on that occasion.
I hate this new offside rule, Bernard. Personally, I do. I mean, if it's offside, you just lift your flag out and say offside, but you're allowing the striker to actually expand on his energy and go a little bit more to receive the ball, and finally when he gets there, he finds out that he's offside. It's almost like a kid opening up a present and finding out that it's something else.
Yang Peng, nicely brought down, looking for support now.
Great
Right away
defending.
by Daniel Bennett.
Great defending by Daniel Bennett. And that's one player that they have to watch. I know a lot of people have been talking about Somyat Min, the striker who's been a captain since he was 20 years old. He's now 26. But that player, Yang Peng, the number 9, he's someone who just runs the lines and is so hard to shake off the ball.
Clear safety by Precious on that occasion. A throw-in for Myanmar. Quickly taken by Keen Maung Lin. Looking for Yang Pen. Bayaki not taking any chances at all.
Something that Abramovich, I'm sure, has been telling his men, and they've been doing very well in the first 8 minutes of this game, which is to just go in and nip in with the challenges as quickly as they can, even if it means that they lose the possession of the ball right after that. They break up the rhythm of the play, they break up the rhythm of the Myanmar attacks, and that's what they've been doing so pretty well. Every pass forward from Myanmar has been intercepted by a Singapore player, and every high ball has been challenged somehow or rather. Baihaki was the last to do that. There's been lots of criticism, Bernard. You're right to say that on the Baihaki-Precious partnership. It all went square and pear-faced in that match against Uzbekistan. If you remember, 7-3 at the National Stadium. A lot of people were pointing fingers at Precious, but it was a combination of both Precious and Baihaki. They are a little slow, and they rely a little too heavily sometimes on their defensive midfielder, Mustafa Farudin, to do the challenges. And sometimes to mix it up a little bit, Abramovich can put Daniel Bennett there, but that's another topic for another day.
A good clearance there by Zolin Toon at the back for Myanmar. Noor Rahman will pick up the pieces again for Singapore now. By Shi Jia-yi. Jia-yi try to look for Agu and Noor Alam Shah. But this time no trouble for keeper Ong Ong Oh.
Not a bad ball forward, Bernard. Just put it into space, because you know that the Myanmar backline's a little bit too square at the moment, and they're looking very vulnerable. Ong Ong Oo is not the most confident of keepers, and sometimes when you put it into space there, one of their forwards can just latch onto it. Both Noor Alam Shah and Agu Kashmir, we know, have got pace in them.
Cross coming in for the far side, headed away by Baihaki. Shi Jia-yi. Good ball control there from Alam Shah. Gives it away cheaply. Ted Ong now finds Myo Tan.
That's not too good a play by Noor Alam Shah. He did everything well, controlled the ball, got it down on the ground. Sometimes when you're having so much time and the defender is not closing down on you, you have the opportunity to look up. And if there's one criticism of Noor Alam Shah over the years, it's his inability to look up before he plays that final pass.
10 minutes of play gone by. Singapore leads by a Noor Alam Shah goal in the first minute of play, setting the pace for this vital matchup between Singapore and Myanmar. Yang Pen trying to pick out number 10 man Soviet Min. Easily shut up by the Singapore back line. Mustafik now. Daniel. Mintun and Nur Rahman. Mintun. Well checked by Mustafiq.
Cheap free kick to give away by Yan Ping. Player's not going anywhere, and even if he had to challenge for the ball in the air, it's either going backwards, out of play, or sideways.
Shi Jiayi makes a crack at goal, and no trouble again this time for goalkeeper Ong Ong O. Has it all covered.
Not a bad idea, Bernard, to have a crack at goal in these circumstances and conditions on the pitch. Especially those shots which just bounce in front of the goalkeeper and give them nightmares.
Jiayi trying to find Agu again. Clear the safety by Mo Win.
So those runs of Agu again, as I was talking about earlier on, just gives them another outlet, another avenue, and that streets which he created has forced Myanmar into conceding a throw-in. Really good work at the moment from Agu. It's been almost like the forgotten child of Singapore football for the longest time.
Has certainly come a long way to be such a big part for the Singapore team this time around. This is Jiayi. Yes, Agu again. Looking for the space there, Agu. Failed to take full advantage of that occasion. That's John Wilkinson. Took it on the first time.
Brilliant cross, Bernard, by Su Jiayi. Absolutely superb. I thought Agu Kashmir had an opportunity to take it first time. I think maybe he wanted a spectacular by taking on his chest right here and trying a scissors kick. It got off his chest a little too fast, but he made the most out of that situation with a brilliant pullback for John Wilkinson. Really, you've got to hit the target then.
This is Agu again. Suddenly making his presence felt. Tightly checked there by Mo Win. This is Jiayi. Trying to look for Ridwan. Yo Min Tun combining well with Mo Win.
This is it, Bernard. You know, it's like close to the 15-minute mark. Singapore have been dominating against Myanmar, who've been shocked by the early goal by Noor Alam Shah. And this is the point where you just feel that Singapore have got to try to kill the game off a little bit, try to score the second goal, and really deflate the Myanmaris instead of giving them opportunities to build their confidence up.
Alam Shah, some space to work on. A little too casual there, trying to pick up Agu. Myanmar on the break. 3 against 3 now. No trouble at all. That So Miet Min certainly should have done a lot better.
He is angry, isn't he? Roddy Abramovich. He lets you know it. You can hear him from a mile away. You could almost be in Bali and hear him from Jakarta. Only because of this. Singapore players just backed off. You can't do that. And if he was in top form, if he was just had a little bit more confident Miet Min, he would have gotten that shot on target, or maybe even taken Precious on for a run, because Precious marks you square on instead of sideways. So he could have taken Precious on, put the ball just a little bit wider, and gone on to take a shot at goal. Took it too early, I thought. And earlier on, for Singapore, Noor Alam Shah should have taken that shot instead of trying to square it off for Agu. That was what caused Abramovich to be angry in the first place. He was just screaming, take a shot, take a shot.
John Wilkinson. Late challenge on Mustafiq. No foul, says the referee now. This is Myo Tan. Myo Tan failed to control the ball there. Agu again, taking 2 players away with him. Fine challenge from Winong.
He's getting the boos, Agu, because of how he treated the Indonesian league a couple of years ago. We all know that story. But sometimes Agu Kashmir performs much better with those boos. And for the sake of Singapore and its fans, we hope the crowd boos him a little bit more.
Certainly spurs the young lad on a lot more. Put to safety there by Kim Mong Luin. A corner for Singapore.
Well, this is where they have to take advantage, Bernard. The first goal came about only because of an aerial situation. A Myanmar defense can be so flat-footed at times. Just little runs off the ball, and you have a player that's free. But first, the delivery has to be good.
Delivery from Jiayi now. Looking for support. Well headed away there. This is Agu. Some space for God. Agu. What a goal from Agu Kashmir. Goal number 2 for Singapore and goal number 3 for Agu in this tournament.
If there's any player in the Singapore team in this first 15 minutes that deserves a goal and all its plaudits and the applause from Radi Abramovich, Bernard, it has to be Agu Kashmir. The number 11 has been in scintillating form at the moment, and that was him picking things up. I did say that delivery had to be good and Myanmar would be in trouble. It was very good from Suzuki. They did clear it, but could only get it as far as Agu. And look at the marking. It was pretty poor because he had all the time in the world to set himself up, wait for the bound to suit him right, but the finish was superb. That was a poisonous shot. Get anywhere near it, you'd break something. Agu broke the back of the net. Singapore are in cruise control.
Absolutely great goal taken there by Agu Kashmir, setting the confidence, the Singapore team on the sky high right now. Lots will be expecting from Myanmar to take this game against the Lions. Conceding 2 early goals, certainly a big setback for Myanmar. Late challenge there on Noor Alam Shah. No card, the referee says, but a stern warning on Mo Win.
Here the Singapore bench asking for a yellow card from Mo Win, only because Mustafich had an earlier card for a much lesser foul. That one, legs came in. It wasn't malicious, but it was late. And if Mustafich had a yellow card for being late, he should have had a yellow card as well.
Mustafich now. A little too casual there for Ridwan. Comes up for a throw-in for Singapore now. This is Rong Rahman, who is playing captain's role today.
I don't understand the switch of captains. I think it was Mustafich. You were calling on the game the other day, weren't you, Bernard? It was Mustafich who was captain?
Mustafich was the previous captain in the game against Cambodia, with the absence of Indra Shadan, the regular captain, and this time around, Noor Rahman has been awarded the captain's armband.
Well, should only be one captain of the team and one vice captain. Mustafich should have carried on as a captain. But then again, who am I to argue with Radi Abramovich? He's won 2 ASEAN Football Championships. He hasn't lost in this tournament as a coach yet. And it looks as if he's not going to lose after this game.
Precious. Using his height to big advantage there. Mustafich, Noor Rahman, Ridwan. Ridwan again, looking for a return pass to Mustafich.
It's disappointing from Ridwan. He's just either taken the ball a little bit longer or tried the early cross with players waiting in the box for it already.
Mintun trying to find Yang Ping. Well checked by Abaki.
The Myanmaris are just playing it right into the hands of Singapore. These high balls will be just gobbled all day long by both Haki and Precious. What they've got to do is to keep the ball on the ground, feed Myet Min, let him drop deep a little bit more and get involved with the play, which he hasn't been doing. And Yang Ping, who is very fast and very hard to shake off the ball, sometimes just play these 2 men, get them dropping deep a little bit more, get them involved in the midfield, and once you get those pretty passages of play, get the confidence going with the passing and the rhythm, then you can break the Singapore defense down. But if you're playing the high balls, the Singapore defense will just eat it up all day long.
That's exactly what the Singapore defense has been doing all this while. This first 20 minutes of play.
That's the chance now. Keep it on the ground. Pass and move from Myanmar.
Win Tin now for Myanmar. Finds Tet Ong. Still in possession. Patient build up there for Myanmar. Myo Tan sets it out to Win Tin. Nice pass. Very well checked by Daniel Bennett. Win Tin, of course, failed to hold the possession.
Much better passage of play from Myanmar, though, and that's the reason why Abramovich is not too happy. He wants those challenges coming in time and time again. It's been a very, very high press play from Singapore, and it's been working so far for the Lions.
Wilkinson. That was a challenge. Deemed unfair by the referee. That's Zolin Tun. Free kick to Singapore.
They're ripe for the picking at the moment, Bernard. Myanmar, if I was Singapore, I'd just go for it. It's 2-0, I know, but if there's chance to get 3 or 4 and then put your reserves in for the second half and prepare for Indonesia, you go for it. And you never know what is going to happen between Indonesia and Cambodia, because by the time the Indonesians play against the Cambodians, the pitch will be cut up.
This is Ridwan now. Oh, he's got offside that occasion. Just a little offside for Ridwan Muhammad. Well, if the results for the Indonesia and Cambodia game may well decide who will be qualifying in this round, and the final game between Singapore and Indonesia may well be insignificant.
They might be insignificant, but at the same time as well, they're playing for first place. Because if you finish second in this group, more likely than not, you're going to face Thailand in the semi-finals. If it's between Thailand or Vietnam or Malaysia, I'm sure you're going to take the latter.
Both teams, I'm sure, will be monitoring the matches tomorrow in the Group B matches very, very closely. Also lots to play for in this game. Myanmar, of course, they are a very, very determined, committed side. Anything goes. Singapore leads 2-0 against Myanmar, courtesy of Noah Lam Shah and Agu Kashmir. Min Tun now. A little nudge there, push on Mustafik.
It's a very soft foul to give away. I don't think it was a foul personally, because Mustafik was trying to get inside and get in front of them, but did get away with it, and referee says that was a free kick. Noor Rahman, once again, it's a very unsteady start to this game, just going in a little too early and too easily, just selling himself away against a very fast Myanmar side. It might just make you pay for it.
And this time Chiayi, of course, the challenge on Min Tun. He sees a foul now. Good interception from Daniel Bennett. Ted On does well, finds Myo Tan. Sends it out wide right now. This is Win 10. Daniel does well. Holds on the possession for Singapore, looking for his option now.
You can see in the body language, it's not looking right for Myanmar. The players are absolutely deflated and demoralized. They can't wait for half-time. It's like, what, 22 minutes to go?
Mo Win.
I have to say, I'm really disappointed with Somyat Min, the captain, and number 10. As a captain, sometimes if you're not getting anything up front, you come right back. You help your midfielders out. You get involved with play. You get the team G'd up again just by giving them some confidence. Yam Peng as well. He was so impressive against Indonesia, but just absolutely non-existent in this match. And Myat Min scored a couple of goals, in fact 3 goals against Singapore in that 2004 semi-finals. Yam Peng has scored a goal against Singapore in the 2001 SEA Games. So they know how to play against Singapore. They just need to get involved, get themselves involved a little bit more.
Well, Singapore, of course, will be gunning for their 4th consecutive title if they make this one. Or rather, their 3rd consecutive title and 4th title in this competition. 2004 champions, 2006 champions, and hopefully 2008 champions.
That'll be a feather in the cap of Avramovic as well, because so far he and Peter With both have 2 championship wins. Another win here, and he'll be the winningest coach in Southeast Asia.
Good play right now from Myanmar. Win 10. Finds Myo Tan. Looks for Mao Win.
Great
Cut
play
there by Daniel Bennett. Good play. Agu again right now. He will take on Zolin Tun. No Rahman. Stafik kept on running, and of course Bowin has to put it out of play.
It's great work by Daniel Bennett and Agu Kasmer. For me, the two best players on the pitch so far. The Myanmar players keep looking down on the ground and keep blaming it. You see, they're just going right, left, right, left. It's not the pitch to do that. But I don't care what it is, Bernard. It's two teams playing on one pitch, so you can't blame the pitch. You just got to get yourself up and get moving once again. As I keep saying, it needs the number 10, Myat Min, to get involved.
Ted Ong. Bowin. Tan falling deep now. Looking for option. This is Myat Min now. Finds Yang Peng. Yang Peng on the go. Yang Peng scores. Myanmar has found a goal back against Singapore. That's Myo Min Tun. It's a scorer. Good break there for Myanmar, of course. So Myat Min with a nice flick on. As we watch this again.
That's the danger, Bernard. And who it was again? No Rahman. It's his man. I said earlier on, he's giving away and he hasn't been paying attention. He hasn't been alert throughout this match. And once again, that left midfielder, Mo Min Tun, finds a way past No Rahman. By Haki Kaizan, tries to rescue the situation. He doesn't have the pace to catch up with it. But what a cool finish, because he could have easily blasted the ball. Lionel Lewis made himself as huge as possible. Now Singapore will have to find themselves out of this rut, because Myanmar will slowly build in confidence. And a 2-0 lead is probably the most dangerous lead to have. And Singapore will need to find another goal somehow after a magnificent performance by the midfielders and the strikers in defending from the front. It's the defense that has let them down, and in particular Noor Rahman for just taking his eye off the left winger.
Certainly came as a shock for the Lions, conceding a goal. In fact, the first goal they've conceded in this competition so far. What a lot of confidence that goal would have done for this Myanmar team. And there they go again right now. This is Mawin fighting with Noor Rahman.
Well, I just criticized him. I think it was Noor Rahman that time. It was very good defending. If you can't get to the ball, physically unruffle your opponent a little bit. And that's what he did then. The ball went out of play. It's the first time in this tournament as well, Bernard, that two teams have scored in one particular game. So far it has been victories to nil. And finally we have two teams scoring. It makes for a wonderful football match. Although if you're a Singaporean watching this now, it might not be too nice, especially having cruised for the first 25 minutes and allowing that goal, a silly goal, to give away.
And certainly building up to an explosive second 45 minutes. And this competition, a game that if Singapore wins, Singapore will qualify for the semi-finals. And of course a game that Myanmar cannot lose. Agu, John Wilkinson. Lintun now. Finds Bin 10. Aggressive play there. This is Wing Ong. Ted Ong sends it long to Casio for Mustafik. Ted Ong now. Finds Zor Lin Tun. Wasted ball there on that occasion.
Well, the danger for Singapore, especially the back line, Bernard, it's been too comfortable for them so far. And once it becomes too comfortable, you tend to go and play the ball inside your own half between one another. This pitch is not the right pitch to do so.
Neo Tan. Switches played out, finds Win 10. Well, poor pass of Win 10. And he realizes that as well. Looking to release Ridwan Mohammed now. Some space to work on for the Singapore right winger. Finds Agu. Still in possession, and what a save from keeper Ong Ong Oh.
That's a world-class save. What a save it was. This time a connection was great from John Wilkinson. Much better than his earlier effort. Took a slight deflection, which makes the save even more remarkable. Brilliant save by Ong Oo. A much better play from Singapore, especially where they use their flanks. And no, Mohammad Ridwan sometimes offers that outlet, and they have to use it. Great ball by Mustafij Farudin, and this man once again just helped play up so brilliantly well. Certainly been a star in this first half, Agu Kashmir.
Well, great lead up there from Agu, finding John Wilkinson.
Yeah, certainly, well, first save of the match. Unfortunate that you had to put the save when you're 2-1 down. But that save might just offer Myanmar some hope and some chances that the game is turning a little.
Lin Tu now finds Win 10. Looking for options now, Myanmar trying to find Min Tun, and he's onside. Min Tun, he has got Nora up with him. Still in possession. Malwin. Min Tun again. Yang Pen.
Well, they've done so well, Singapore, so far in closing down on the Myanmar attacks. But for a long, long while, I counted about 3 seconds when Myo Tan had the ball in central midfield and nobody closed him down. He had the opportunity to spray his passes. And thankfully for Singapore, nothing came out of that.
Malwin with a throw-in. Yang Pen, Min Tun. Kept his eyes on the ball there all the way through Nur Rahman. Good work.
That's the man, Yan Peng, trying to get a little more involved, and you just saw earlier on how his physical presence can cause a little concern for the Singapore backline. By Haki Kaizan, might be a tall lad, but he doesn't appreciate physical challenges, and Yan Peng is someone who just goes in. I don't know if you remember him, Bernard. He does remind me of a Myanmar player who played for Singapore in the Malaysia Cup, Win Ong.
Win Ong.
Something like that. Plays with his head down, a little bit more intelligent as a player, but very hard to shake off the ball.
Of course, Win Ong was a key figure in the Singapore team back in
1990-something.
1990-something.
It's just a year, a forgettable year as well. Not just for Win Ong, but for Singapore football.
Well, the Singapore football team has certainly progressed tremendously over the last few years. Certainly a big powerhouse football team in this part of the world. And coming into this competition, considered very much as a hot favorite as well.
Yes, they are, and Radi Abramovich has got all to do with that. I mean, all the credit has got to go to him. I know a lot of teams have been criticizing and saying that they've naturalized a lot of foreigners into Singaporeans, but that's just not the case. Radi Abramovich has given them a structure, has given them some formation and a shape that they've taken. And he has the number of all the other teams.
John Wilkinson, and this time around, he went for goal again. No trouble for keeper Ong Ong O. These runs by John Wilkinson are getting extremely dangerous, effective for Singapore.
They are, especially when he cuts in from the left. I do like to actually watch him play just in front of Mustafiz Farudin, and Suzuki may be playing down the flanks, but he does make those runs from deep. And he's someone who's got such a great engine room, Wilkinson. He helps the defense out a lot. And Daniel Bennett will be the first to admit that his fine form in this tournament so far down the left-hand side has got all to do with this man, John Wilkinson.
Mowin, back to Zolintun. Win 10, who's seeing a lot of the ball in this game.
Magnificent play once again by Agu Kasmir, Bernard. I just can't help but keep harping on that fact. Every time a Myanmar defender has the ball, Agu is breathing down their neck.
Stafik, Jai.
Well, it was a little misreading there between Wilkinson and Suzuki. I think he was more frustrated with his own self for not making that run and trusting in Jai, leaving it for him. I think he expected Jai to just head the ball into his path and build it up from there. Didn't expect a dummy at all from his teammates. Easiest person to take your frustrations out on is usually the referee. And Din Dung from Vietnam got all of it from John Wilkinson.
Bandit now. Agu on the run again. Agu Kashmir. This is dangerous. Agu still at it. And just failed to find the extra space to control the ball. Perhaps make use of Noor Alam Shah on his right.
You're right, Bernard. He had Noor Alam Shah on his right. He had that option, but then the pitch defeated him. Just that little bobble before he took the last touch into the penalty box. Unfortunate for Agu. Might have done better with that earlier pass to Noor Alam Shah, but that was another chance which Singapore failed to take.
Lintun finds wing on. Keep going there, Lintun. Trying to release. Win 10. Good reading of the game there. For John Wilkinson, this is Mustafik now. Jai. Again, looking for Kashmir. Find Agu Kashmir trying to lock the ball past Mowin. Good work there for Mowin on that occasion.
Give credit where it's due. Agu Kashmir did nothing wrong. Wanted to find the space for either the cutback or the shot. Great defending by Mowin. Sometimes against Agu Kashmir, that's what you got to do. Make your presence felt. Put your body in front of him. Because once you give him an inch, he's free and he goes far away from you. His shielding of the ball is immaculate.
Alam Shah. Noor Rahman trying to find Ridwan Muhammad. Oh, poor clearance there. And this is dangerous. Noor Alam Shah almost connected with the cross there for John Wilkinson. What would have been an almost certain goal for Singapore.
That would have been a dream goal as well. John Wilkinson probably thought it was Alexander Duric right there. Noor Alam Shah does give up something in height, but he's got such a great spring in him. We saw that he leapt, he hung in the air. It just didn't drop fast enough. Good work though by Singapore yet again. They need to find this third goal. They need to build that 2-goal lead again.
Second corner for Singapore now, Chia. Mustafik. Clear to safety. This is Min Tun now on the break for Myanmar. Soviet Min. Noor Rahman fighting, full of determination, not giving up at all.
I think he was a little fortunate as well, but it certainly looked like a free kick to me.
Young Pen leaves it back to Win 10 now. Keeps on running. This is Ted Ong. Once again, Noor Rahman.
Much better play with Ridwan Muhammad coming back to help in defense, and Noor Rahman getting inside and cutting off his right winger. There you go. This is where I thought the free kick was. It's a little hug on the jersey. A little fortunate, but they do have a free kick now, and he's getting more involved, isn't he? Myet
Min certainly seeing more of the ball now. And this is going to be an interesting opportunity for Myanmar to work on perhaps one of their set pieces in this late stage of the first half.
If Singapore concede from here, they only have themselves to blame. They had a great shape going into the first 30 minutes, and then they conceded that goal. And they have failed to keep that shape. They've failed to keep the energy going in midfield.
Ted Ong goes for goal, and no trouble for Lionel Lewis this time.
If we're going to play the offside trap at free kicks, everyone's got to work. It's certainly miscommunication there in the Singapore team, because there are about 3 Myanmar players who are onside and no challenges on them, no one marking them, and they went in for the ball. Thankfully, the ball was a little too high and it was easy for Lionel Lewis in the end.
Certainly made it look absolutely dangerous on that occasion. Wilkinson, good check there by Wing Ong. Neo Tan now. Baldwin. Mintun. Hoping for Myet Min to run in. Didn't happen on that occasion. As he watches free kick again from Ted Ong. Certainly made it look very dangerous. 3 white shirt players were just lurking around Lionel Lewis. Mustafik. Well, Singapore has a few options to play the second half, one of which perhaps is to bring on stronger strikers, to reach Indra Shadan.
Indra Shadan would be an option, definitely, but no fault of the 2 strikers at the moment. I think that Noor Alam Shah has led the line well, and Agu Kasmir, I thought, has been the best player in the first half. But that option that you're talking about could be in the form of Sharil Ishak. I've always thought that he's a much more intelligent and better player than Mohammad Ridwan, either down the right or putting him down the left flank. That could be an option too for Singapore. Bring Ridwan out, put Sujia down the right flank, put Sharil Ishak down the left, and John Wilkinson in the middle. That could be another option that they'll play. But then again, we'll leave it in the hands of Abramovich. It's worked so far. It's worked in the first half. They've just slacked off a little bit in the last 15 minutes due to the high energy levels.
Ridwan. Clear to safety by the Myanmar back line now. Daniel Bennett finds Ridwan Muhammad. 1 minute of time added on. John Wilkinson is all over the place. Ridwan.
Did everything right, Mohammad Ridwan. That was a brilliant ball played inside for Noor Rahman. Just a touch from the captain let him down. Wanted to take it on the run. Couldn't do so. Maybe a dink into the penalty box from there on would have been much better, because he had players and bodies inside there. Some central defenders staying put after the corner had been delivered. But it has been a good first half so far for Singapore, Bernard. I mean, they have controlled the pace of play, especially in the opening 15, 16 minutes when they had the 2-goal lead. It became a little comfortable for them. and then they lost their shape just by conceding that goal. But so far, everything that Myanmar have thrown forward, all the loose passes have been intercepted brilliantly well by the midfielders. The midfield engine room and the energy that they've given in the centre of midfield, from Mustafic right down to Wilkinson to Agu Kashmir defending from the top. It has been brilliant for Singapore so far.
So there you go, referee from Vietnam, Pong Din Dong, has just blown for half-time, and there's a very exciting 45 minutes, plenty of action. Noah Alam Shah's first minute goal set the pace going for this game. And of course, Agu Kashmir's 16th minute goal put Singapore in a comfortable 2-goal lead position until the 28th minute, where Myo Min Tun from Vietnam, or rather from Myanmar, this guy put in one more goal to make this game entire more exciting.
Well, it is a little bit more exciting, and Radi Abramovich has got to come up with a different game plan, but I'm sure a lot of it would be the same, which is to tell the Singapore lads to cut off every opportunity that Myanmar has to stifle the midfield, which they have done in the opening few minutes for Singapore. And from the Myanmar coach, a Brazilian Marcos Antonio Falopa, it's as simple as that. Look, get your strikers to come down a little bit deeper, get Yang Peng and Myat Min involved, and maybe they have an opportunity to get back into this game.
Well, the second half will continue shortly after this break, and we're live from the Gelora Bang Karno Stadium, the AFF Suzuki Cup, right here on Channel 5. And welcome back to the Gelora Bang Karno Stadium in Jakarta, Indonesia. This is the AFF Suzuki Cup 2008, and this is live action on Channel 5. A critical matchup between Singapore and Myanmar in the Group A tables, Group A games. This, of course, is the second game for both sides. Singapore coming into this game with a 5-0 victory over Cambodia, whereas Myanmar, they were defeated by Indonesia, the host nation for this group, 3-0. So this is a game that Myanmar cannot lose, whereas a victory for Singapore will guarantee them of a position in a place in the semi-finals. Taking on the other two big teams in the Group B matches that's happening at the same time in Phuket. And of course that group comprises Thailand, Vietnam, Malaysia and Laos.
I think the Myanmar side, Bernard, you're talking about that 3-0 defeat against Indonesia. They went into the match perhaps a little overconfident. They had the Indonesians' number, having beaten them 2-1 twice in their own Royal Championships Challenge Cup, and they weren't expecting the Indonesians to come at them the way they did, with a high tempo, high tenacity in the opening few minutes, and they never really recovered. But against Singapore, all it needed was that mistake by Noor Rahman to allow Min Tun to go in, and what that goal's given is hope to Myanmar. They lost the first 45 minutes. Let's forget about that. The danger here is that Singapore will have to defend from the start. They have to expect Myanmar to come at them like wounded animals, looking for the equalizer and perhaps the third goal as well. So the Singaporeans have to keep their shape. Lionel Lewis has had little to do so far in this match except to pick the ball out from his net, and that must be a sickening thought, because the Lions were all over Myanmar. They have to convert their chances a little bit more and stick to the game plan that Abramovich has given them, which is to cut off all loose balls in midfield. And they played to their strength, Singapore, in the first half, which is aerial duels against the much shorter Myanmarese defenders. They have played to that, and they've done successfully. They have to stick to the same game plan in this second 45.
Win 10 right now. Sends it back to Lin Tun. Some of these Myanmar players have returned to the field with fresh new jerseys and hopefully new luck for them.
Sometimes it is that way if you're a little superstitious, but I'm sure it's all done on the pitch. And immediately in the second half we see a little bit more passing from the Myanmar players, and they need to gather that fluency and get some rhythm about their game, because in the first 45 minutes there is absolutely no rhythm from the Myanmar side.
Myo Tan teaming up with Min Tun. Back to Winong. No changes so far for both sides during half-time. Mustafic now, nicely brought down. Will control the ball there. Finds Agu now. Ball slips away, the first touch. Slight hesitation there from Suzuki. Widong. Myotan. Stroking the ball around now, this Myanmar side in the second half. Certainly they're stamping their confidence in this game. Not giving possession away cheaply. Young Pen looking for space there. Well, Precious does his job there, using his body.
It's very fortunate. Some places that would have been a free kick against Singapore.
Agu Kashmir takes on being on now. Nice little dummy there. This is Agu. Well, nobody's there. Myotan will pick up the pieces in the midfield for Myanmar. This is Min Tun. Young Pen right now. Still in play. No Rahman there, protesting that its ball's gone out.
It's much better play from Singapore. As I say, that's commentator's curse. A poor ball by John Wilkinson. I was about to say, just hold the ball on the ground, stroke it around the same way that Myanmar has done. And what this stroking around of the ball does is that it gives you a little pattern and rhythm to the game. That's what Myanmar is trying to achieve, and Singapore have to try to stop that.
Min Tun trying to pick out his partner on the left there. Mao Win. This is Min Tun now. Gets himself into some space there. No Rahman. Teaming up with Ridwan. Gives the ball away again cheaply. Myanmar on the break right now. This is a good opportunity there for Myanmar. Win 10 trying to catch Lionel Lewis off position.
Dangerous play, and Singapore almost losing it. And once again, it's the winger that's coming in deep that's causing all the problems. That time it was this man, Win 10.
This is Min Tun now, the goal scorer for Myanmar. Finds Myotan, sends it long, Lionel Lewis punches clear.
No, Bernard, that was brilliant goalkeeping by Lionel Lewis. Didn't leave it to chance, didn't leave it for his defenders to clear. And this is where Singapore have got to just step on the ball, slow it down a little bit. They've survived a few scares so far in the second half by Myanmar.
Jai. Nobody's there, easily picked up by Mao Win. Alam Shah there. Getting a little too physical, the challenge.
Tide certainly shifted, hasn't it? In Myanmar's favor. As I said, if you don't stop them from controlling the tempo of the game, it builds confidence, and now the players have got confidence that they can spray the ball a little bit and spread the Singapore defense, which they have been doing in the opening 5 minutes of the second half.
Tet Ong. This is Win 10. Win 10 getting himself in a position right now. Nice cheeky little back heel. Shut out there by Mustafik. Confidence of these Myanmar players has certainly grown. Myotan finds Malwin. Min Tun. Good ball for Min Tun. This is Young Pen right now. Put clear there, Young Pen. So much space to work on.
He would have preferred it on his right foot. Might have even opened his body up for a curler around Lionel Lewis, but instinctively he just took the shot at goal, which is what a good centre forward should do. It goes wide at the end, but once again, Singapore are having questions asked at them about their defensive capabilities, and all the problems have been caused by the left winger, Min Tun, who has been Myanmar's best performer in this game so far. and everything's coming from that left-hand side from Myanmar at the moment, and Singapore have been giving the ball away far too cheaply in the second half.
Winted again now. This is Myotan. Malwin. He's getting really up in the field right now as well, the left back for Myanmar. Finds wing on. Dead on. Malwin again. Trying to pick out Mintun. Mo Rahman. Stuck to his duties there.
It's a good decision by the referee because he was looking for the free kick. The ball went out. The coach isn't too happy, Mr. Falopa of Myanmar, but it was the right decision. And you see a different Myanmar side in the second half, Bernard, because in the first half they were too hurried with their ball, giving away like a hot potato. It's just playing the ball up front to their front two, Yan Ping and Myat Min at every opportunity, hoping to get them involved. But in this second half so far, what's been happening is that they've been kicking it and passing the ball around, playing those square passes, getting the defense to come forward and help the midfielders out, getting up in numbers, making sure that there is a gap in the Singapore defense before spraying a killer pass or two. And they're also taking advantage of the fact that Baihaki and Precious might be a little bit immobile as far as the defense is concerned. And Yan Ping and Myat Min's off the ball running in the second half has been so much better. They've created avenues the same way that Agu Kashmir did in the first half for Singapore.
Singapore certainly in a precarious position right now. To concede another goal will be a huge setback, especially after coming off a very fine, impressive opening 20 minutes display. Goals from Noor Alam Shah in the first minute, and of course Agu Kashmir in the 16th. Put Singapore in a very strong position until Myo Mintun pull a goal back now. This is Agu Kashmir for Singapore now. Plenty of space to work on, and Suzuki went for goal.
Great effort by Singapore. Superb play yet again by Agu Kashmir. Caused by all his running. The Myanmar defenders didn't pick him up. And this time he picked up Suzyai with yet another cutback. 2 for John Wilkinson in the first half. 1 early in the second half. And Chiai just had a couple of challenges on him. Much better defending by Myanmar as he failed to hit the ball on target. But the Lions have to remember they still have the lead. They still have the lead and they don't have to panic. You just need to step on the ball and not give away possession just like that.
John Wilkinson now examining his options, trying to find Alam Shah. Good defensive work there, still dangerous, not clear. Well, finally he's cleared to safety by Lane Tun.
Poor play by Suzyai. He had the simple option of John Wilkinson in front of him, tried the extravagant flick, which didn't work.
Precious, of course, missed that clearance, but fortunately the ball bounced back into Lionel Lewis. Malwin. This is Lintu now. Bennett, good challenge there. Freeing up Wilkinson. He's got Win on to contend with, and poor cross there from John Wilkinson on that occasion.
Well, not to criticize Wilkinson earlier on. It was a delicious ball he delivered for Noor Alam Shah in the penalty box, which Myanmar did well to defend. But the Myanmaris have to know that every time they put the ball up in the air, every time it leaves the ground, it just leaves it open and leaves it to Singapore's favor. They have to play it along the ground. There you go. Anytime it's in the air, Singapore will win it.
Jai trying to release Agu. Oh, poor defensive work there from Moin. Agu still holding on the possession for Singapore. Mustafiq. Bennett now. A cross coming from Daniel Bennett.
A brilliant cross, Bernard, by Daniel Bennett, just behind the defense. So the striker's eyes must have lit up then, but it was much better defending by Myanmar. At least this time they're not just watching the men, they're watching the flight of the ball and cutting it off before the central defenders have got to do anything with it.
Win 10. Ronaldo space there. Daniel Bennett with the throw in for Singapore. Agu again now, shielding the ball as always the entire game. This is Agu taking on two players down. Wing on, sliding tackle there, not giving Agu any chance.
I can't tell you, Bernard, how much I've been impressed with Agu Kashmir in this match so far. Not just the first half, but in the second 45 minutes. The way he's held the ball up, the way he's defended from the front, shielded the ball. Every time he has it, he draws two defenders away.
Bennett with the cross, again coming in, and put free there, Ridwan Mohammed.
Poor finish. Has to do much better, even if it meant taking a touch to kill the ball off before slashing it at goal. He went for the spectacular then, and that cross, which was a very good one by Daniel Bennett, goes to waste.
Player number 7.
Well, the first substitution for the game there, this is Pei So coming on for Myo Tan. Some fresh legs perhaps in the midfield for Myanmar, as coach Carlos Antonio Falopa must be sensing for a possible equalizer coming soon.
You're right there, Paiso is a more offensive midfielder than Myo Tan. It's part of the SEA Games squad in the last SEA Games that won the silver medal.
Wilkinson. Mustafik finds Noor Rahman. Cross coming in from Noor Rahman, and Agu Kashmir came out of nowhere. Just failed to keep it on target there for Agu.
Brilliant effort, early cross in. You know you've got two strikers there against three defenders. Hit them. Hit them with it, because the Myanmar defenders just don't have the height to cope with the Singapore front two. Agu Kashmir, as much as I've been saying how brilliant he's been doing, has really got to hit the target this time around. I know he's under pressure, much better defending that time around by the number 13, Win Ong. But still, you've got to hit the target. Any side of the goalkeeper, that would have been 3-1.
Wasted opportunity there for Singapore. Excellent chance to increase the tally. Mintu now. Malwin. Nobody on the right for Myanmar.
Good news for Singapore is that despite Myanmar's very bright start in the opening 10 minutes of the second half, the last 5 have belonged to Singapore, and they haven't scored from the opening fervor.
Agu fighting very hard with Lim Tun.
Brilliant play again by Agu Kashmir. He certainly looks the fresher of the two strikers up front. Noor Alam Shah hasn't had much football this year. Because of that, you see him slowly losing his energy in the second half. It might call for an Indra Sharan to come in to take his place. But Agu Kashmir has been brilliant.
Cross coming in there from John Wilkinson, and well hit it in. Well placed, but goalkeeper was right in it, spot on. No trouble at all. That's of course Mustafik Farudin.
Good defending by Mong Luin and Lin Tun then, putting bodies behind, making sure that the header wasn't a free one for Mustafik Farudin. Because of that, it lacked all the power in the world to beat the goalkeeper Ong U. But I thought Wilkinson had the opportunity to take a shot, almost a shot come cross, and perhaps he should have gone for that option instead of floating the ball into the Myanmar penalty box. But then again, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And they've been doing well with all the aerial situations against a much shorter Myanmar team.
Jai Bennett. Waihaki finds Ridwan. Back to Noor Rahman now. This is Noor Rahman. Some space for the Singapore right winger to work on. This is Ridwan. Oh, good work on that occasion. Peso.
Much better play this from Singapore. Spraying the ball left to right and keeping it on the ground, especially in midfield.
Ted on. Wing on. This is Win Tian. Yang Peng. He's got pressures to contend with. Ted on does well to find Peso. Some fresh licks there for Myanmar. Peso. Try to work on some magic there. Mauluin. Clear to safety by Noor Rahman. Win 10. Oh, this will be keeper's ball. Lionel Lewis. Fumble. Was he fouled there? Yes, there's the referee.
Good decision by the referee, Din Dung. Whenever it's inside the penalty box, even though you're headed high for the ball, Lionel Lewis has got that advantage. He should have caught it, really. As long as you put a body and a challenge onto the goalkeeper, it will be a free kick. Little lucky to escape with that. Should have done much better, Lionel Lewis, with his high standards. It's the right decision for the free kick.
Well, Mark, with the crowd cheering, you can't help but feel that the neutral Indonesian crowd are beginning to support Myanmar a lot more.
Oh, definitely. They've already beaten this Myanmar side. I mean, if they had lost to Myanmar, of course, they would have supported Singapore in this game, but they've beaten this Myanmar side by 3-0. They don't want Myanmar to be thrashed by Singapore. It might come down to goal difference at the end of the day in this group. And they would hope that Myanmar would score this equalizer at least and take it to the final game between Singapore and Indonesia. It'll pave the way for Indonesia. What they'd like is a draw in their final match to qualify as champions of this group. And everyone knows and everyone wants to beat Singapore in this tournament only because they are the twice defending champions. It's only natural that you root for the underdog.
Well, of course, the Singapore team, they are familiar with this ground, formerly known as the Senayan Stadium. In fact, they clinched their 2005 title here against Indonesia in the first of the two-leg finals.
Yeah, I remember you and I commentating on that match, and it was like, 2-3 minutes into that game when Daniel Bennett scored the all-important opening goal. It was one of the best Singapore performances ever I've seen away from home.
Corner right now for Myanmar. Alam Shah helping out defense for Singapore now. Still in possession. This is Ted Ong for Myanmar. A sea of red pushes up now. Wing on, trying to find Yang Pen there. Cleared by Noor Rahman. Win 10. Oh, Miet Min is offside. So Miet Min thought he had the equalizing goal for Myanmar.
That was clear offside as well. As it last came up on Myanmar head. There we go. Clear offside from Miet Min. Then dangerous from Daniel Bennett because his centre-backs had moved up. He should have followed them up and gone with a header. Instead, he laid back a little bit and almost kept the captain onside. But he showed us once again, once he's had the opportunity in the box, just a dink over the goalkeeper, and it was a brilliant finish it would have been from the captain. It's not over yet for Singapore. They need to find that third goal.
This is Ted Ong. Taking on a bigger role right now with Myo Tan leaving the field. This is Win 10 again now. Challenge by Daniel Bennett. No foul, says the referee.
You saw it close up, wasn't it? Daniel Bennett's a lucky boy. That should have been a free kick. Good touch by Ridwan.
Mo Win. Finds Peso now. This is Min Tun, Young Pen. Precious. Fortunately, their Peso slip and fall, slip a little for Myanmar. This is Jai. Poor pass.
Poor play. What it's done is that a lot of players have moved forward from Singapore. It's given Myanmar the opportunity now for a counter-attack.
Malwin. Daniel Bennett clears for Singapore. Well, a break now for Singapore. Ridwan Mohammed drawing on the defender. Agu taking on two players again as always. Agu, Alam Shah.
Not the best of plays by Alam Shah. What Agu wanted to do was clear and simple. Just to play the ball inside and get it back from Alam Shah. Alam Shah had the opportunity. All he had to do was to run forward first, to tap the ball back, and he's asking for a replacement. As I said, he certainly looks very, very tired in the second half. Maybe a little bit of a recurrence of the hamstring problem that he's had. And Alam Shah also had the opportunity to play in John Wilkinson, who was just behind him. That was an opportunity missed for Singapore.
It'll be interesting to see who will coach Radi Abramovich put into the field to replace Alam Shah. Will it be Duric or will it be Indra Shada?
Well, Duric seems to be still having some problems with his calf, so I would see Indra Shadan coming on. It's an impact player that he's being used at, but he does offer a little something more in terms of movement up front, Indra Shadan.
Well, Peso for Myanmar now. Nice little 1-2 with Min Tun. Cut out there by Bayaki. More win, winning the header there with Agu. Win on. Myotun does well. Myotun looking for the flight, looking for the opportunity. This is Young Pen failed to get the ball past the Singapore back line.
Great play then by Precious. You know that the press in Singapore have been very, very hard on Precious and Mujarai over the past few months since that Uzbekistan pressing, the thrashing. But much better play. That time he cut out the angle of the shot from Yat Min, and allowing his other defenders and his tracking back midfielders to do the defending for those that he had to cut back to.
Tun Tun Win has come on for the goal scorer, Myo Min Tun. Perhaps fatigue has set in, and this time around Noor Rahman earns himself a yellow card for pulling down Peso.
Too easily that he's defeated Noor Rahman. Seen that so often. This time around, didn't go in with the challenge full-heartedly. If he had, he would have won the ball, allowed the player to get past him, took one for the team with a yellow card and giving away the free kick. I was quite surprised with the substitution of Min Tun because he has been Myanmar's best player so far.
Dead on right now. Lionel Lewis punches clear again. Alam Shah will complete the clearance for Singapore. Tun Tun Win. Dead on. Going on. Win 10. Cut back for Win 10.
A little too hasty in the shot at the end of the day from Win 10. Did everything right. And even had the opportunity for the early cross as well with a couple of players in the penalty box. He wanted it on his left foot, and because of that, cut it back and tried the attempt at goal. Cross-come shot. But Singapore are giving away possession far too easily. Every ball that's been played inside the penalty box, they've won it. It's easy with them as far as the headers are concerned. But that second ball when it drops earlier on in the game, everything they've defended and done so well with it, every time the midfielder has picked it up. This time around, the midfielders have been boxed up in the penalty box with their defenders, and because of that, they haven't been able to pick up the second ball. Suzuki is playing far too forward and Mustafic far too deep, so there's a huge gap between the two of them. And because of that, that's the reason why Isa Halim has been brought on, just to have a little bit more assurance in front of the midfielders. Both he and Mustafic Farudin will be playing just in front of the defenders.
Well, signs that Singapore certainly will want to consolidate their defense. Isa Halim, of course, tough tackler, good defensive midfielder. Alam Shah still on the field. And this is Isa Halim now, fighting hard for the ball with Tun Tun Win.
A little shuffle. Suzuki will play down the right now with Isa Halim joining Mustafic in the middle of midfield, just to tighten it up a little bit. Midfield's just been losing the battle to Myanmar in the second half.
Malwin. Peso, that's where they get past Nur Rahman now. Peso taking on by Haki. Goes to run at the line again by Haki. Well, not giving him any chance at all there.
As I said, the two centre-backs have been vilified all season long by Haki and Precious, but they have stood up and been counted for in this match. Great defending by Haki, saving Nur Rahman, who has looked like a weakling in the Singapore defensive four. And it's quite a surprise because he has been perhaps the most consistent defender over the past year for the Lions. But in this match, he allowed that first goal to go through, and time and again, he's been beaten far too easily down that Myanmar left-hand side.
Suzuki now operating on the right for Singapore. Well, Morwin gives away a free kick. The referee is not pleased with the challenge.
It was an elbow thrown as shown by the referee.
Free kick quickly taken, and John Wilkinson right now. This is Agul Kashmir. Does it stand? Well, the Myanmaris will be complaining to the referee. Oh, that's a challenge. An attack on the referee. This is getting into a very, very controversial scene here that we have seen before about the Myanmar players. Volatile, easily provoked. The players are obviously extremely upset with the referee for allowing the free kick to be taken very quickly. And the match officials are on the field as well.
We've seen this before, Bernard, haven't we? The last time we saw Myanmar lose their heads was guess against Singapore in that semi-final in 2004, where the players surrounded the referee, pushed the referee, started throwing bottles at the Singapore players, and it's all turned ugly yet again, only because Ong Ong Woo wasn't too happy with the referee saying that you could take the free kick early. The rules are that you can take the free kick early as long as you get the permission from the official, and Din Dung probably had the call to say, yes, I can take the free kick early, and he went on with it. Myanmar players had to be a little bit more alert, but they were busy just complaining to him about the free kick being given away. And because of that, the players weren't alert in defending. Suzuki stayed on the ground. The Singapore players decided to play the free kick without Suzuki. There's nothing wrong in that whatsoever. The Myanmar players, as you can see from here, there we go. He had the permission from the referee. He played it early on. Ong Ong Woo watched it. He was watching it all the way, so he had no arguments against the referee then. He can't go up and push the referee in any case whatsoever, and he had no arguments because he was alert to the situation. He prevented Johnny Wilkinson from scoring in the first place.
And as you go, Ong Ong Woo attacking the referee there. This will be an interesting decision if the referee will have to send Ong Ong Woo off. Yes, he has.
Well, even if you do it to a fellow professional, fellow player, that might have been a red card, but to do it to the referee and to do it to the authorities, that is disgraceful. It might mean Myanmar getting out of the competition. The last time it happened against Singapore, they faced a long ban, and it might happen again. And Myanmarese players are a little bit more mature this time around. They should know better, but I guess it's the Myanmarese temperament that's taken into play yet again. And once again, it happened against the Singapore side. Unbelievable scenes.
Well, history repeating itself again, not just once, twice, but 3 times if you recall, Mark. Myanmar, of course, staged the big protest against Singapore in the 2005 finals, or rather could be a 2006 final, 2004 finals, I beg your pardon. And of course, remember the last finals against Thailand, there was a major decision call as well at the National Stadium.
At the walkouts before the penalty kicks, Indra is trying to calm Ong Ong Woo down. They know each other, the players around this region. No Alam Shah, who took the free kick. Myanmar players are telling him, why did you take the free kick early? Well, why not? That should be his answer. Ong will be sent off, and that is the right decision by the referee. But it's disgraceful scenes. We set it up at the start. The last time these two sides played, the disgraceful incidents that happened here in Singapore at the National Stadium. We said it was the same weather conditions. We didn't know it's a different referee altogether, of course, but we didn't know it's going to happen all over again. And Din Dung, I think, made a very brave call. He allowed the free kick to be taken quickly. It is a little walkout here by the Myanmar players. The coach, Falopa, has got to calm them down a little bit now. He's got to need the help of all his officials to talk to the Myanmar players, but he's got to calm them down. There's nothing wrong with taking the free kick early. There you go. He's saying, look, go out. Go get involved. Radi Abramovich, I don't know why it always happens to a Singapore side. I guess everybody wants to beat them. And when a decision goes against them, they think it's officials favoring the defending champions or the favorites. But as I said, Bernard, there is nothing wrong with the free kick whatsoever. John Wilkinson was onside after the free kick had been taken. It was given permission by the referee. They tried to surround the ball to make sure that Timur Alam Shah took a longer time to take it. But if you're surrounding the ball, it means that you're alert to the situation. You know that a fast free kick might happen. It did happen. The goalkeeper was alert to the situation. He saved first off. The defense were arguing with the referee. They didn't retreat back, and Abu Kasmir scored. Now, I don't see anything wrong with that at all. I think the referee made the right decision, and the Myanmar players will have to live with it.
And the Myanmar players are obviously still not happy with the decision, despite the keeper being sent off almost immediately by the referee. And the Myanmar players are obviously staging a mini walkout, so to speak. And this is where cool heads will have to prevail, if not amongst these players, these very temperamental players, but certainly with the match officials. And of course, this referee himself, Pong Ding Dung from Vietnam, he will be able to make the call to perhaps even award the match to Singapore if these Myanmar players refuse to play.
Well, if they refuse to play, and the Indonesians might have to suffer for it, because if it's a walkout, they might it might not be the scoreline here. They might even add a couple of goals to it. We don't know what the rules are, but it will mean Myanmar being out of the next competition, being out of the SEA Games. They can't just think for the now, it's for the future as well. Fellow teams and fellow Myanmar footballers will suffer because of this. They have to come back to the field of play, clear their heads a little bit, and come back to the field of play. Look, it's only 3-1.
It seems that referee is going to make a decision as the Singapore players are still waiting if this game is going to continue. As referee Pong Din Dung seems to be marching towards the Myanmar officials.
It's a huge disgrace, especially for the regional competition. I mean, ASEAN football needs a little kick up. I remember the 1998 tournament where there was a disgraceful match between Indonesia and Thailand where both sides didn't want to win that one, and it ended up with a Thai player scoring an own goal on purpose. Both those sides received 1-year bans, rightfully so. I thought it was all a very lenient punishment already. And then, you're right, Bernard, about those walkouts. Myanmar side had that little water bottle thrown at S. Subramani a couple of tournaments ago, and in the last tournament, Thailand themselves had that walkout against Singapore, but they did come back to the field of play to protest against the penalty being awarded to Mustafa Farudin. Singapore went on to win the tournament.
Absolutely, and of course we got confirmation that the incident that Myanmar, of course, had a big match with Singapore where they walked out and protested, and of course the famous water bottle incident against Singapore's Supramani was in 2004 in the semi-final clash with Singapore at the National Stadium.
That's the coach on the right-hand side of your picture, Falopa. He's now arguing with the officials, his very own officials. I think he wants to get back into the field of play, and his officials are almost signaling to the players not to go back in. Well, this is disgraceful because they have to just take the decision as it is. We've seen free kicks around the world being taken early. As long as you get the permission from the referee, you're allowed to take free kicks early. And as I said, the players did defend it. It wasn't as if they stood still and allowed Johnny Wilkinson to have a free-potted goal. The goalkeeper did defend it. And then when it came back to Abu Kasmir, there was a defender on the line trying to defend it. If we have a look at it, they were arguing about this decision, which was the right decision. It was a free kick. Suzuki went down, and as he was riding on the ground, Bernard, they kept arguing with the referee about that decision. So what is the decision now? Are they upset with the free kick being given away, or were they upset with the free kick being taken early? Both sides are losing fights or losing accounts because the referee made a correct decision on both counts.
Well, the players are finally cooled down and marching back onto the field, the Myanmar players. And it seems that the game will continue.
Player number 10, Myanmar, replaced by number 22,
Well, Myanmar, the captain, has made way for the keeper, Kyaw Sin Tet, who has come in to replace Ong O, who was sent off for pushing the referee. And he was the first to react. He was absolutely furious with the way the goal was sort of like awarded, in his opinion.
Now the players have to watch. The last time that happened, of course, Myanmar had like 3 players sent off against Singapore in that semi-final. Ingashad had not the time to come in really, because he might be at the receiving end of some wild and reckless challenges from the Myanmar defenders, just trying to get back at the referee. They have to watch their heads now. The captain, Myanmar, who had to be the calmest player on the pitch, was the one who was crying out and really protesting furiously, and that's the reason why he's been taken out for Kyaw Sin Tet, the goalkeeper, to come in. They've lost the centre forward, but now they've got to try to get back into this game.
This is Young Pen right now. Precious clearing the lines for Singapore as the match resumes. Singapore leads 3-1 against Myanmar. And we will find out later the amount of time added on for that wait out, sit out moment by the Myanmar team after the goal by Agu Kashmir, resulting for a very quick free kick taken. And of course the Myanmar players were unhappy with the decision. Goalkeeper Ong Lo sent off. 10-man Myanmar team.
As I said, the Myanmar players are losing their heads. They're just going to come in with challenges like that. It's down to the Singaporeans now to release the ball and keep their heads and avoid injuries, because the Myanmar players will just come in recklessly. And in order to calm themselves down, sometimes you just got to hit and, just take the frustrations out of the Singapore players, and that's what they're trying to do. Keep ball and make them more frustrated.
Isa Halim keeps it in play. Oh, tough tackle. Isa Halim does well to hold the possession.
Did everything right until the cutback. Isa Halim had an opportunity actually to even take it a little further down the byline before cutting it back. Good play by Isa Halim, the Young Lions captain.
Isa Halim again. Stafik.
Well, the best way to play against 10 men, I always feel, is to play it down the flanks. There we go. Another one of those challenges.
Late challenge from Morwin. Gets a yellow card from the referee.
It was his challenge on Suzuki that created the free kick in the first place, so maybe he feels it more than the other players, but it's no excuse to come in like that. And if you have players that you want to keep for the last game, Radi Avramovic, I advise you to make that last substitution right now. Maybe take out Mustafic, put someone else on, because if he's important to your very last match against Indonesia, you don't want him on the pitch against a Myanmar side who are out to take their frustrations out. And as I said, Bernard, the best way I feel to play against 10 men is always to play it wide, play it down the flanks and spread the game out as wide as possible to make use of every blade of grass on the pitch, because it'll just tire the other team out. 10 men, it's not easy against the Singapore side. Avramovic now will be worried about his players' health on the pitch more than anything else. The game is almost as good as won. This will mean progress to the semi-finals, and as we said at the start of the match, Bernard, every time Singapore has qualified for the semi-finals, they've gone on to win. So that is a very good sign. They might just be the first team to ever win this tournament 3 times in a row.
Mustafic, of course, will take a break, and hopefully he will resume. And another card has been shown, I believe it's shown towards Shi Jia-yi.
Time wasting perhaps. It's just one of those cards that the referee has given out for some reason, just to tell the Myanmar players that I am fair. And that's something that the Singaporeans have to watch out for as well. Those 50-50 decisions might just go Myanmar's way.
Agu wins a free kick, or rather a throw for Singapore. And Mark, this is just unbelievable. History repeating itself again all over.
You just can't believe it. You thought that it's all done and dusted. We'll have a good game of football. We've had a great game of football until that 78th minute incident, which revolved a lot around that man, Suzuki.
Agu, oh, he's offside.
John Wilkinson, and that ball, which was extravagant. Agu had only a split second to watch his defensive line to keep himself onside. Keep ball. That's the way to go. Keep the ball. You're leading by 3-1. You want the same scoreline against Indonesia and go for the last goal. But more importantly, it's to keep possession of the ball.
Agu brought down there, and stern words from the referee. That's all they Tun to watch his temper and his tackles. He's taken over the captain's armband from Miet Min.
It's a man of the match for me. For my money, Agu Kashmir has done everything right. He's got the 2 goals, 4 now for this tournament to make up for what's been going on over the past couple of years. Agu Kashmir, remember at the last SEA Games, he wasn't even guaranteed a starting lineup in the under-23 tournament. But he cemented his place in the starting lineup of the senior squad for this tournament. Great game against Cambodia, an even better game against Myanmar, drawing the defenders out. Every time he's held the ball, 2 defenders has come his way, and he's played it so intelligently with his cutbacks. And those 2 goals, especially the first one, was absolutely delicious as well. Great game by Agu Kashmir.
Well, clearly the man of the match for this game. Even all the other Myanmar player who played very well was Min Tun, who has left the field.
There we go. It's a simple pass down to the left-hand side. Isa Halim tried the more difficult one to John Wilkinson. Play it simple until the end of the game. You'll probably have, 5 or 6 minutes of additional time because of the walkout, but play it simple right up till then.
Peso finds Young Pen. Return pass, well, covered by Noor Rahman. Tun win, and keeper's ball.
It's going to be a different opposition against Indonesia, Bernard. As I said, I don't know what's going to happen between Indonesia and Cambodia. The match happens right after this, but if it comes down to goal difference, the Indonesians are much faster. They play the ball around so much better from midfield to forward that the central defense has to watch out a little bit more than they have had against Myanmar. And because of that, I'd actually like to see a little switch in the centre-back. They've done well so far, Precious and by Haki, but I've always had a suspect with the pace. Daniel Bennett for me has been the best centre-back in the S-League this year, playing for the Singapore Armed Forces. Maybe might have a little change out there, a little variety perhaps. Daniel Bennett at centre-back and Saiful Isa at left-back, partnering either by Haki or maybe at right-back, because that man has been Singapore's weak link so far, Noor Rahman in this game. He's got to step his game up if they're going to play much better against the Indonesians.
Well, Coach Radi Abramovich, I'm sure, will have loads to think through, and especially with some of the injuries some of these players have suffered. Jai, of course, had a huge knock on the shoulder. Another substitution for the Singapore side.
Ismail Yunos coming in, one of those young Lions defenders, and taking the place of Noor Rahman. It's interesting substitution this is, because Ismail Yunos is more of a centre-back than a right full-back. So we'll see what Ruddy has in store. Maybe Ismail will play there as right full-back just to give Ruddy some options in case he's got suspensions. Let's not forget as well that Suzyai, Noor Rahman and Mustafic have picked up yellow cards in this game. One more against the Indonesians might mean a suspension in the semi-finals. Those players are key players, especially Mustafic Farudin.
Ismail bin Yunos.
Wing on now, finds win 10. Still, Myanmar's trying.
They haven't put up the board yet for extra time, Bernard.
Not yet.
Find out how many minutes the referees decided to add on.
A big moment for this game, of course. 5 minutes of time added on.
It's very generous. Well, I should say the other way around. It's very stingy because I thought that the walkout took about 5-6 minutes plus the substitutions and all. It might even have had been 6 or 7 minutes.
5 minutes for Myanmar to find 2 goals. It's almost an impossible task, especially with only 10 men. Mauluin. Mustafik now.
I just saw a shot of Suzuki being afraid of the challenges, just giving the ball away cheaply.
Ismail Yunus. Well, Lintun clears it out for a throw-in. Well, some of these Myanmar players, on their minds, they must have psychologically or mentally given up for this game.
I think they have, Bernard. You're absolutely right. And with the goalkeeper being suspended for the next match as well, they have to look at Cambodia and feel, they have to win the last match, because the bottom of the group, you have to realize, if you're bottom of the group, you have to go through a qualifying process for the next ASEAN Football Championships. It's something that Myanmar wouldn't want to go through.
Three goals to 1, Singapore leads Myanmar. First 2 goals in the first half, of course, Noor Alam Shah in the first minute, Agu Kashmir in the 16th minute, and of course Myanmar pulled one back, Myo Min Tun. At the second half, early stages, it was Myanmar all the way until the controversial goal in the 78th minute.
And let that moment not overshadow what's been a very, very good, solid, workmanlike performance by the Singapore side. I think that they played very well, especially in the first half. The opening 20 minutes were some of the best football Singapore have played in a long, long while.
Suzuki right now, failed to connect with the cross.
He was in 2 minds then, Bernard, whether to cut it back for Indra Shadan, who was lurking in the penalty box just outside the 6-yard box, or just hammer it at goal against the new goalkeeper. But as I said, it has been a wonderful performance by Singapore in this match. They had that little period in the second half, the opening 10 minutes of it, where they just lost control of the game. But other than that, it's been a superb performance.
Win 10 now for Myanmar. Looking for Peso, Ismail Yunus. Defended the cross. And Peso is protesting.
Hopa's not happy, but I tell you, it was the right decision. I mean, you manhandle someone in the penalty box. You can't expect the decision to go your way. See Radi Abramovich expecting professionalism right up to the last minute. Hates players just giving the ball away cheaply. Agu Kashmir and Isa Halim had him just raging on the sidelines.
And there you go, referee Bong Dim Dung has blown for the final whistle. A man involved in all the controversy. Agu, of course, celebrated with 2 goals for Singapore. And Noor Alam Shah's opening goal made it 3 against Myanmar. Myo Min Tun, 3-1. But of course, a lot will be spoken on that special, or rather the controversial moment.
And I think that the referee did everything right with that controversial moment. He allowed the game to stand. It'll be good as well for the referee. I mean, you have to be lauded by the referee. He's getting sarcastic applause from the Myanmar players. But the AFC have to look at the referee, Pong Din Dung. And as much as we criticize referees for their performance, we have to give credit where it's due. it takes a very brave referee to say, hang on, I gave the permission, the goal does stand. He did allow it to stand. Despite all the protests, despite him being pushed, he never once flinched and said, I'm going to go back on my decision. I think that the referee did brilliantly well. And Singapore on the whole as well, as I said, let not that moment take away any credit from the Singapore team. I thought the Lions played superbly well in this match and deserve every credit of theirs to get through to the semi-finals yet again of the ASEAN Football Championship.
Well, Singapore through to the semi-finals. Final score 3-1. Singapore defeated Myanmar. The next match against Indonesia happens on Wednesday, or rather on Tuesday, and you will catch it here on Channel 5. With that, on behalf of Mark Richmond, this is Bernard Lim saying good night from the Gelora Bung Karno Stadium in Jakarta, Indonesia. This has been the AFF Suzuki Cup 2008 on Channel 5.